like for example the spot healing brush. I won't be able to use it on this one because it's not rasterized. I'll just say okay and we'll just do it. Now I can work on it. I'll explain what all that stuff means at another point while when we're doing something with rasterizing in a later tutorial. So like there's these like little spots here and I don't want them to be there. I just click on them with the spot healing brush and I'll make them try to blend in with the background and like go away like that, for example. So these are for editing photos, and I'll have to teach you what the other ones mean later on. So what we got over to the next is this is our brush tool. We got brush, pencil, mixer brush, color, and color replacement tool. The hotkeys for these are B. So I've just got my brush tool and I have my color selected. It's just gonna paint kind of like in Microsoft Paint and stuff. I almost drew something bad by accident. So that's your brush tool, and just so you know, the brush tool's hotkey is B. If I just press B while I'm out here like drawing or whatever, and then I press B, it's gonna switch to the pencil tool. It's a capital B actually, so it'll be Shift B to switch, and you can see my cursor is switching. So we got those tools there. Then beneath it we have our history brush tool and our art history brush tool, and I'll teach you about those later. Some more photo editing tools. We've got our clone stamp and our pattern stamp tool, and I'll have to get into those later also. We've got our eraser, our magic eraser, and our background eraser tool, and this one. So I mean, you can just erase things. And our background is a white background. If I turn that off, you can see it goes back to the transparent. So that's what the eraser tool does. It just erases whatever's there. And to the right here, we've got our paint bucket tool, which fills in solid color, and then we have our gradient tool, which is kind of like the paint bucket tool, but doesn't do a solid color. It does a gradient color. But you could make it do a solid color if you wanted to, but might as well just use the paint bucket tool for that. Now beneath that we have our dodge, burn, and sponge tool, and these are used for adding like burns and things like that into your photos. So if I use this dodge tool and I do it on this girl's arm, this is making her arm like way lighter, as you can see. And if I use like the burn tool, it'll probably make it darker. Yep. So that has made her arm darker. To the left of that, we have the blur and sharpen tools, and I'm sure you guys know what a blur is. It'll just blur out the area, and the sharpen will make it less blurry. And then we got our smudge, which will smear around everything like this. And you can see her watch is now smeared. And we've only got a couple more left, so try to speed through these. We've got our different selection tools here. We've got our path selection tool and our direct selection tool, and I'll have to get into those more when I talk about paths. And here we've got our pen tool. This is what it's going to start on to, is like an image of an old looking pen, and then our different pen editing tools here. To the right of that we have our text tools, horizontal, vertical, and then we got horizontal mask type and vertical mask type. And all you need to do is just click and start typing, and you have different types of different text in there. And below the text tool we've got our line tools and our shape tools. So it's going to start off on this rectangle most likely, and with this you can draw like a rectangle that has a fill inside of it already. Same with your polygon tools, and then you have a custom shape tool where you can draw your own shape and everything like that, or add in other shapes. Now we've got our hand tool right here, which is used for just moving stuff around, and our rotate tool, And then to the right of this we have our zoom in and zoom out tool. So if you press on your mouse button and move left or right on your left mouse button, move left or right, it'll zoom in like that. Or you can zoom in incrementally by pressing the left mouse button to zoom in, and then or hold Alt to change it to zoom out. So that's how you use the zoom tool. And then below this here we have our different color selections. So we've got our foreground color and then our background colors, and then we can switch these out using this arrow right here. So you can switch these different colors that you're using, and then this button here switches them to black and white, so the default foreground and background colors. This button here is the edit in quick mask mode. I'll go over that one later. And this is the change screen mode, so I can change it to standard screen, which is what it should be at for everybody else, full screen, and then full screen, like totally full screen with everything. Full screen mode panels are hidden. They can be accessed on the sides of the screen by pressing tab. So we already went over that in the last tutorial. So that was a little bit of a long tutorial. I just wanted to remind you that the actual every single one of these tools has an options menu up above, and anytime I click on it, the options menus are going to change, and you can there's a whole bunch of different things you can do with these different options. So all these tools are very versatile and pretty awesome. So Photoshop is a very in-depth program, so it'll probably take us a little while to get through everything, and you just got to learn the basics of it first, and then after you learn the basics and how to approach different problems and everything like that, you can basically come through and master the finer points and learn how to make some really cool things. So thanks for watching this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next tutorial. We'll go over like how to create new documents and things like that. So see you guys at that one. Have a good one.